Hello, welcome to another Burgundy with Tweedy video. Delightfully, despite being a Sunday afternoon, one of the absolute peak times on the heath, it is actually relatively quiet thanks to the rain. Put up a tarp. I believe the forecast is for it to rain quite heavily at times throughout the afternoon, which will hopefully put the majority of people off, and I'll have a bit of peace and quiet, which will be great. Today, more wine from Philippe Gavignet. I'm sorry if you're getting tired of these. This is the latest vintage that I've tried, possibly the latest that's been released. I'm not sure if a more recent one has come out, of the Nuits Vieilles Vignes series from Philippe Gavignet. This is the 2022 vintage. It's been an absolute stalwart throughout the years, the village level Vieilles Vignes, old vines wine from Philippe Gavignet. That is the cork. It's in pretty good condition to me. Yet again, the lighting conditions are not perfect to give that a decent appraisal. I think that's somewhere in the middle there. Before any swirling, apart from the awkward fumbling of negotiating opening a bottle in the woods. Oh, some branches or something falling on the tarp, great. There is already, straight off the bat, a nice little warm hint of cherry in there. Fairly sure that's cherry, and there's possibly a bit of red berry around that, but I think that's a sort of cherry-like character. That is a promising start. Nice and clean, nice and pure. That's what we want from Philippe Gavignet's Nuits. Lovely, pure fruit expression, hopefully, fingers crossed, with a bit of a swirl. More of the same. It was fairly evident in that first nosing before swirling, so wouldn't expect that to change too drastically. There's a nice, again, warmth, sort of cleanliness to that. Lovely sort of soft, clean, warm waft of cherry. Warm's a strange word. I don't mean cherries that have been heated up, but there's something warming. Perhaps it's just because it's a damp grey day that the notion of nice red ripe cherries feels warming. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, that is a reasonably promising start. Good. On the palate, this is the sort of thing I want to see. Nice and concentrated, decent amount of acidity. Sorry, there's a plane going overhead. Definitely getting more of that. I think mostly cherry type fruit character. It's all nice and pure, relatively intense. Have I said concentrated already? Am I doing all the round of all the buzzwords? The tannins are pretty light. There is a tiny little hint of that, but I would say generally pretty light. And that is nice and smooth and a delight to drink. Very quick first impressions there. Hopefully I'm going to be able to sit here for a little while, so perhaps I'll mull this over for a while and see what further thoughts I have. But initial thoughts, classic Philippe Gavignet, Nuits, very fruit expressive, very pure, very clean, and the fruit character is overall, I think, cherry, doing pretty much exactly what I want here. It's actually a bit dark. It's a bit gloomy, sorry. I should put on a light, but I hate putting on artificial lights. I thought I should give you an update on this on glass 2. A couple of extra nuances that I am noticing. There is a slight liqueur-y edge to the cherry character here. I sometimes find this in Burgundy. That slight sort of vinous quality to the way the cherry manifests, which is, you know, like a cherry liqueur, not just like fresh cherries. There is a lot of really nice, ripe, pure, intense fruit in this, but there's also a slight sensation of kind of boozy cherry liqueur. It's 13.5% ABV. To be honest, I never pay attention to the ABVs of Burgundy. Is that slightly higher than usual? The range isn't very large, is it? And the other thing that I'm noticing a little bit more than some of the previous wines in this series, the Philippe Gavignet Nuits, is that a little bit more of a tannic feel. I'm noticing it not all the time, but every other sip perhaps, getting that little sort of tannic coating on the tongue. But neither of those things are impacting the enjoyment of this. I'm really very pleased with this. Lovely, fresh, mostly, apart from that caveat about the liqueur-y notes. Intense red cherry, it's lovely. Hello. Good. Not sure I have much to add on this, but I have definitely been enjoying it, particularly in this spectacular setting. I tried to move the camera back so you can get more of a feel for the joy of sitting under a tarp in the woods drinking wine. It's been absolutely lovely. I think that is 2022-esque. It does have that nice ripeness and richness. There's a slight richness I quite often find in 2022. I think this is ready now. I think obviously it might develop and become more interesting in the coming years. So good stuff. Having an absolutely delightful time here on the heath, under a tarp, in the rain. Right, I think that maybe may stop talking about the wine now. I'm going to sit here for a little while longer, enjoy the rain tapping on the tarp. Tapping, dropping, dripping, the rain dripping on the tarp, the rain dripping off the tarp. You know what I mean. Cheers.